belief in the importance of the role that the Queen was fulfilling, and in his way to the wedding in her early 20s, just 21, I think she was at the time of her wedding. He, 5 years older than her, he means the world devoted to him, and he to her. And it was the importance, it was really so important in the success of the reign. So I think that he has made a huge contribution, both in terms of the support to her.
Nick, thank you very much. Well, Nick has been taking a look back at the Duke.
Her husband, Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, who with his hands between the hands of the Queen, becomes her leader and about to worship.
At the Queen's corridor, Philip knelt before his wife and pledged his loyalty. As a male consort to a female sovereign, Philip had no constitutional significance. By instinct he was a leader, yet Philip had always to take second place. By nature he spoke his mind, and that sometimes got him into trouble. His was the support that mattered most to the throne. European royalty. He was a prince of Greece, but his ancestors were largely Danish. From Greece, his parents separated, and the Spartan atmosphere of the Royal Navy cadet at Dartmouth.
Majesty, walking down the ranks of the cadets.
And when the King and Queen visited the colleges, Philip showed off a great deal. But Philip served in the Royal Navy with distinction during the war. When the fighting ended, he started family gatherings. He changed his name to Philip Mountbatten and became a British citizen, uneducated and would probably not be faithful. And in the summer of 1947, the palace announced that
the King and Queen announced the betrothal of their dearly beloved daughter, the Princess Elizabeth.
Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, stood within Westminster Abbey and exchanged marriage vows with the
Elizabeth Alexander, take me, Elizabeth Alexander, to my wedded wife, to my wedded wife.
Again and again, they joyfully responded.
With them to the airport. It was the last time they were to see King George VI, who half the world had dropped on him. They returned to London to lead the national mourning. His wife was now Queen. Philip was there in support, but he was never given the title Prince Consort. In the 1960s, Philip's life was more settled. He and the Queen had completed their family with 2 more children, Andrew and Edward, who joined.
Well, it's going to be a bit of a rush. It may leave you a little bit muddled.
Yet diplomacy seemed television that the royal family didn't have enough money.
Inevitably, if
a state visit to China with the Queen, he made what he thought was a private remark about slitty eyes. It was a diplomatic gaffe which dominated the headlines and added to his reputation. Philip had a sharp, inquiring mind and was determined to make a contribution of his own. The groundbreaking, more human face to the world.
The salad is ready.
Good. And for many,
we depend on being part of the web of life. We depend on every other living thing.
Underprivileged children, and had a lifelong interest in spiritual issues. But his most lasting creation...
give young people a chance to discover their own abilities of the grown-up world, and incidentally, to make new friends and have a great deal of fun and satisfaction in the process.
It was more difficult for the royal family than the 1990s. The death of Diana, Princess of Wales, was both a family tragedy and a moment of tension for the monarchy. It was comfort. It was Philip to whom the Queen turned for private support.
Walking next to his grandfather.
Had persuaded William and Harry to walk behind their mother's coffin to her funeral. And, contrary to his sometime, who'd taken the lead in trying to understand the domestic problems of his children, prompted perhaps by his own memories of what it's like to marry. Active at an age when most men would have relished retirement. He went carriage driving, and he was still carrying out more engagements than many younger members of the family. Some he did alone, such as this. But most he did with his wife. He was the figure a few paces behind the Queen, always looking out for her, and often guiding children through the barriers to present their flowers to her. By the time of his 90th birthday in June 2011, celebrated at his insistence, it was time to slow down a little.
I've done my bit. I want to enjoy myself a bit now. With less responsibility, less frantic rushing about, less preparation, less trying to think of something to say. comrades with memories going. I can't remember names. Yes.
Down, despite a serious health scare at Christmas 2011 when he had to be taken to hospital with a blocked coronary artery, he remained at the Queen's side for most of her Diamond Jubilee programme, which took them the length and breadth of the country. It wasn't until his final solo engagement. It was a parade for the Royal Marines on the forecourt of Buckingham Palace. It was pouring with rain, time meeting those on parade and taking the salute as the Marines marched past to bid him farewell. His life, although he was rarely seen in public, there were occasional appearances at family occasions such as weddings, yet he remained a supportive figure to the Queen and his family. Throughout his adult life, despite the formality of his position, Philip retained his own style of doing things. He made his own uncompromising mark on national life. He once
Yes, they can't suddenly change their way of doing things.
Throughout all the monarchy's many ups and downs since the Second World War, Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, the longest-serving consort in British history, was the restless outsider who put his wife and duty first. In doing so, he fulfilled his coronation oath of allegiance to Elizabeth, his Queen. Their marriage and his support were the essential foundations which underpinned the success of her reign. In a speech to celebrate their golden wedding anniversary, the Queen spoke of him.
He is someone who doesn't take easily to compliments, but he has quite